Alright, what's going on, guys? Today we 300% of Cuphead again. With this part two of the 300%. This one goes a lot more in depth. That's why the video is so long. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy. See ya. Welcome to part two of my 900% of Cuphead. That's the idea, at least. After I, whooped him once, had to whoop him again, right? So let's just get straight into it. So, immediately after starting the game, went over, got a tutorial, grabbed the coin, and pretty much we just went off, started collecting more coins, and started whooping more ass, right? So, yeah. Went up, talked to the Apple guy, got some coins from him, and then right after that, we went straight into a running gun. Alright, let's be honest, there's not much here to talk about. Just a plain old simple running gun, Later we'll come back to it, but, other than that, not much to do here, eh? Alright, straight after that, we went straight into the other running gun, Treetop Trouble. We didn't have much to do there here. It's aisle one, it's child's play. There's not a lot to talk about. So, other than that, let's get into the bosses.
Good day for a swell battle. And begin.
Well, to begin, and well, as you can see, that's pretty much all Rootback family is.
A great slam and then some. You're up.
Oh, Goopla Grande, my beloved. I only have a. There's a common trope between all the aisle 1 bosses, and what it is that every single one of them is a waste of my fucking time. But, on the bright side, other than that, we waddled on over. We got the super, which, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I think, number 1, I think that's my favorite super, and I'm pretty happy that we get it pretty early in the game. But, we made it out to aisle 2. Now, I'll be honest, I think the Candy Lady, I honestly think she's one of the hardest bosses on aisle 2. And it's just for the fact that you gotta go through these annoying phases. Like, I hate the muffin guy so fucking much. It's just, he has no, like, good area where you can destroy him. Like the gumball guy. That guy, easiest boss throughout the whole thing. But, other than that, she is easy within herself, but like she's one of the hardest on aisle 2, other than the obvious like Wally Warbler or just Wally Wobbler. All right, next let's get on to the Genie. The Genie is one of the easiest playing bosses in the game, if not the easiest, right? Because the first stage you just dodge some stuff and it gives you some really easy parryable items that just let you hit them with a nuke on. Like if you're quick enough or you hit all the parries, you can just hit a nuke within the first stage, which is really nice. And then second stage is this little maze saw trap part, which you make it through in 30 seconds. It's really easy. Second stage or third stage where he becomes like this weird coffin astroplane guy. I don't really know what it is, but that's easy. It's really just timing based. Third stage or fourth stage where it's like a little puppeteer of yourself. That's like, come on. He gives you the easiest parries of the whole like boss fight right then and there. And let's just hit a nuke on him right there, right? And then right after that, his last stage is obviously going to be his hardest stage. But other than that, it's easy still. Because you just got to look at the proportions and find out which area is going to have the most space so you can maneuver from his little mind laser beam things, But other than that, this guy gets his ass whooped and obliterated. Mopping the floor with him. Alright, next up is the Clown, right? The Clown, he's pretty easy. I'd say, honestly, in my opinion at least, he's the easiest boss on aisle 2, His first stage, there's some ducks, but, with the spread, you can just whoop them easily, right? Next stage, you got this big balloon head. Not much to it. There's some inflatable pound balloon heads. It's weird. They come after you. The coaster starts coming after you, right? But other than that, it's still pretty easy. And yeah. Next stage, in the clip you're watching right now, I beat this stage in like one turn of it, at least. I don't know how to explain it, but in one turn, he comes down on one side and I whoop him immediately, right? The last stage by far the easiest. You can get the most damage done, and with spread you can just use your super in it or your X move, and it just all of them hit him, right? So it's still super easy. On to the next one. Here is the dragon. I don't know what it is about the dragon. He's honestly my favorite boss. Not because he's the easiest, not because he's the most impressive beat, but he's honestly just my favorite boss, and I really just can't tell you why. I mean, his first attack, her first stage, really easy. You just kind of parry rings, dodge fireballs, dodge the tail. It's really easy. Second stage, honestly, most annoying stage is the fire, like the little fireball stage where they come up and they try and get you. It's really easy though. I mean, all of these are easy when you beat the game 300% of the game 4 times. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Last stage, honestly, it's just those little bubbled up fireballs that if you hit, they quadruple. I hate that. I hate that so much. So honestly, I just stop firing until that little flamethrower dragon head comes out. But other than that, he gets whooped every day of the week. But he's my favorite boss. So let's get in the next one. Wally Warbler. God, I hate this guy. He is by far the hardest boss in Aisle 2, right? So one of his attacks, he shoots this multicolored egg at you. It comes back at you in eggshells. That's kind of annoying. He's got these birds that fly across the screen, But then after, you handle all that, he does this one thing where it's like he shakes a lot and his feathers come flying off. And honestly, it gets easier after time, but then again, it's still pretty annoying, right? So after that, after you beat him, his son comes after you. Dude, he is ready. He's got a laser gun. I don't know where they come up with this, but they just, oh yeah, let's give him a laser gun while we're at it, But it's still pretty easy. And after that, there's he comes back after you whoop his son's ass, right? He comes back, he's in the hospital, what looks like a hospital, and he spits his heart at you. There's some trash that gets spit at you, but you still whoop him, right? So other than that, let's move to the next one. Alright, honestly, I don't really feel like covering either of the running guns. They're pretty plain and simple. You run, and potentially you might even gun. But there's 5 coins in both of them. Well, factoid for you. But other than that, let's just move into aisle 3, right? Alright, let's go. I lied to you guys. We're now moving into aisle 3. We're actually gonna cover the mausoleum. Mausoleum, you parry some ghosts. You whoop their ass. You get a super out of it. Not much to it, but there's something to it. The super. Honestly, I don't really like number 2. I use it later for a certain boss, but I don't really. I definitely wouldn't. Use it as a keeper, right? It's invincibility if you didn't know. It's all right. Pretty plain and simple. You go invincible for a second, but not much to it, right? So now let's get into aisle 3. Before we get into aisle 3, I just want to show you guys real quick. It's kind of weird, but there's actually 7 bosses on aisle 3. I don't know why they put 7 and not 5 like the past 2 islands, but it's just something I noticed while playing through the game. So now I'm not lying to you guys. Now let's get into aisle 3. All right, first one we come across is a queen bee. Queen bee, she has his bodyguard, tries to get rid of you. I'm not gonna let that slide, right? So I whoop him. And then she has these 3 attacks. One of them is like a weird parryable pink sphere, right? And it's weird, but whatever. Next one is she turns her head into a wrecking ball, and she tries to shoot you with some bee bullets. I don't know. Don't ask me, right? So next one is a she tries to shoot you with these weird magic triangles that shoot these parryable trianglets at you. I don't know. Alright, this is one of the weirdest bosses in the game, but get this. after she attacks you with all this, she comes at you as some weird plane jet amalgamation. I got no fucking clue, right? She shoots these fist missiles at you that don't have the best tracking. Then she tries to get her, one of her wings turns into a saw that goes across the screen and tries to take you out there. What the fuck is this boss? I don't know, but, you know, I whoop him, right? So, whatever. Coming up next is honestly my favorite boss of Aisle 3, but it's a robot, right? So you have to take out these 3 arteries of this robot, which is the chest, kind of the stomach area, and this laser beam on the top of the head, right? Each of them attacks you in different ways. Stomach one drops these magnet robots at you that try and, you know, just fly into you. And then the chest one pops out this thing that comes flying at you. That's, you know, kind of a laser barrier. The top one is this laser beam that shoots at you. Then, you know, after you destroy the top one, big bunch of bolts coming at you, right? I don't know why he's shooting bolts. When you finally destroy everything, a heart pops out of the chest. You gotta destroy that, and then after you do all that, right, his head flies off. And then, you know, when it finally, you hit it enough so it sits still, the scientist pops out, and he has a diamond. I don't know why he's flexing right now in a dire, you know, fight for survival, but he's flexing on you for some reason. He's got 2 of them, actually. One of them's red, one of them's blue. And, it's kind of weird, but, you know, as always, I whoop his ass. Next up is this actress. And this actress pretty much is dashing and diving, right? She has these variable hearts she sends at you. You know, a little fan, but other than that, it's pretty much just straight dashing and diving. There's not much to it, right? And, you know, next one, she has this baby, like, you know, from windows of a house, kind of, you know, throws bottles at you. She has these mice toys that are sent at you, right? You know, it's all kind of simple. But then after that, in the story, you know, of the act, you know, you kill her, and then she comes back as a demon or devil, and she has meteors, lightning bolts, you know, a big wave come at you. It's all super weird, but, you know, creative at least. And her final stage is the applause, the end of the act, and, you know, it's pretty much just, you just gotta trace her around, right? So, that's pretty much the boss. You know, I whoop him, per usual. But yeah, let's get to the next one. Next up is a German military-esque rat or mouse, and you know, he's in this tin can tank, and he shoots this gunk at you that try to damage you, but you know, I'm not gonna let that slide, so I don't get damaged. But you know, he sends these things out, lets you hop over, but then after this, it turns into a arena where there's cap saws on the side, and you know, stuff like that. And he shoots these fire out at you, and other than that, you know, he gets aimed by a mouse pretty quick, snatched up, right? And this mouse released, like, you know, he smacks the floor, sends some floorboards after you, or ceiling tiles after you, I would assume. And, you know, he sends out these rat ghosts, you know. And, but other than that, you know, I whoop him pretty easily. So, yeah, on to the next one. Next up is the third mausoleum, or haunted place. I'm pretty sure they're mausoleums. And, you know, not much to talk about here. There's a lot more ghosts. That's kind of it. I do get the third super, though. The third super does, it's weird. It's like summons a ghost you, or spiritual you, that, you know, swings his arms around, and he'll damage, he'll whoop ass. But the only reason I don't like it is that, you know, you need to control your player character, and then you also need to control the ghost yourself. So, you know, I don't really like it. But other than that, you know, let's get on to it. Next up is this pirate and his ship. I don't know why the ship is conscious or autonomous, but you know, whatever. He's got this squid, shoots these permeable pellets at you. He's got this, you know, absolute complete nag. It's the barrel you see at the top. That thing is just so annoying come the last stage, but you know, not much to talk about here. Eventually the cannon starts shooting cannonballs at you. He'll you know, I don't know why, but the cannon is autonomous himself, and then his uvula inside of the cannon's throat is also autonomous and has a pink laser beam that he shoots at, you know, the player character, at me. You know, it's why, what the fuck, but it happens. So, you know, whatever. I whoop him anyway. On to the next one. Next up, we have a mermaid Medusa-like woman. I don't know at this point. She shoots these ghost pirate buccaneers guys at you, right? And then after that, she has a couple of moves. She, you know, summons a turtle with a mine bullet launching backpack on her shell, and she has this fish that it shoots electric dolphins at you. There's this you know, seahorse in a floaty that, dude, that sprays water at you to keep you up more. Summons pufferfish that float into the air. I don't know. Then eels, they had enough of this bitch, right? So, you know, they shock her, the snakes on her head, or squid. Okay, hold on, pause real quick. The squid on her, no, the whatever tentacle thing on her head has snakes for arms. That, whoa, right? Let's get big into it though. The eels shoot electrified bullets at you. I don't know. Then her head comes off her own body. Then, you know, I do this exploit where I just stay really close to the head, so all the stuff she spawns behind me. So I just do that exploit. It's really easy. Just like, dude, this they lost the plot after aisle 2, right? I don't know. But yeah, I whoop them per usual, and you know, they get slammed. That's it. Next up, we have the Ghost Train. The Ghost Train, I hate with all of my heart. Right? So, first guy, he's got eyeball for hands. He's supposed to be the Pale Man. I forget his name exactly, but, you know, he's supposed to be a ghost or something. I don't know. Whatever, right? There's these pumpkins at the top that send down permeable bricks that are supposed to, you know, move your cart around. It's so annoying sometimes, right? But then after that, you know, there's a skeleton guy that, you know, he's got, his head can be somewhere, his hands can be other places, and the whole idea is that, you know, you're supposed to attack his head, which, you know, I do, and I eventually destroy him. I have no fucking clue what this stage is. 2 weird stamp-like devil demon heads. I don't fucking know. I don't know what they're supposed to be. I don't know why. I don't know. I'll be honest, right? Hold on. Let's check. Now, if you see the same thing I'm looking at, what the fuck is a lollipop ghoul? What the fuck are they even on about? I've never heard one of these goddamn things in my entire life. The boss ends with a ghost, the head of the ghost train. You gotta parry his tail to get access to his heart. For how confusing this boss is, I whoop him anyway, so on to the next one. Up next we have King Dice. King Dice, you know, for all he's worth, he isn't really that different. I'm just joking with you guys. I'll actually cover the boss this time. So as you can see, you know, there's hearts that you can collect, and there's several different bosses. I'm not going to cover each boss, but you might see them while I just cover the overall King Dice boss. you know, as you collect hearts and you go through them and you finally reach the end, you have a chance to either start over or fight him. And, you know, if you just memorize what order the numbers come in on the dice, you can just, you know, pretty easily just hit whichever one you want to go to, right? So you eventually fight him. He has one move. The only difference is depends on which side it comes from. He sends these cards after you, and you're supposed to maneuver over them by via, like, you know, parrying and stuff. So it's pretty easy. You can see why I just cut straight, you know, in the first part of the 900%. You guys get it. Now, the final one before the DLC is obviously, you know, the devil, you know, and he's got a couple of moves. He's got, you know, the goat thing. He's got this dragon head that you gotta duck under. You know, there's constantly devils coming from left or right side of the screen, or not devils, demons from the left or right side of the screen, and, you know, he's got these weird things he does with his trident. He's got, like, he summons these bouncy balls or these flames, right? And, you know, the flames, they kind of rotate. Some of the flames, like, kind of launch at you. You know, then the bouncy ball, they bounce all over the place. There's always going to be at least one parryable, which I like. But other than that, you know, he has this weird move. It's like a spider move. Spider, he drops down on you. He tries to slam you, but it's really easy to dodge. And then after that, he sends you to hell. I just want to talk about this for a second. It's that little, like, I think it's a trumpet snare thing. I don't know what it is, but I just really like that. I assume it's a trumpet. I'm pretty sure it's a trumpet. Yeah, I'll play it again. God, I don't know what it is about that, but it's so good. It's so good. I don't know. It's just something I want to talk about. Jumping back into it, the devil has a couple of attacks, but they're all really simple. He has this axe attack that, you know, a floating axe flies around for a little bit. He's got this parryable bat bomb thing that comes out of his ear. But then after that, we go to the next stage. He's got bats that come out of his forehead. These weird bears with wings, maybe other demons or something like that. But, you know, eventually he goes on to his last stage. All that happens is it's him crying and we're still whooping his ass. We're beating a man while he's down, right? And it's just, eventually, all's well as ends well. We whoop his ass for the allotted time. So, on to the DLC. First thing we do in the DLC is we talk to this guy, you know, he gives us a couple of coins. And then right after that, you know, we waddle over to the King's Leap. I did explain the King's Leap in the last video, but, I mean, I'll do a quick cover now. So the first ones, they're, you know, little pawn guys. You kind of just parry them, you know. There's literally nothing else to it. You wait for him to jump out, you parry him. It's whatever, right? So I whoop him, right? And then immediately after that, you have the Knight. And the Knight, he's got a couple of different moves. You know, he can dash at you, as you just saw. He kind of has this weird, like, bait where he just stabs up. And then he has this one more where it's, like, kind of does an overarching thing. But, you gotta parry his little mane on the back of his head, or neck, like, 20 times, I think it is, to beat him. Which, you know, I eventually do. But, on to the next one. And next up is a bishop, right? Bishop, all you really got to do is parry him to start off, and then he'll light some candles, and then after that you got to unlight the candles by running into them. More and more candles light every time. He gets faster as time goes. He releases more bells, you know, stuff like that, right? So, yeah, that's pretty much it on this guy. On to the next one. Alright, next up is a rook, and the rook, all he really does, he sends out these parryable, like, ghost heads at you, and, you know, you just gotta hit him with them. I don't know exactly how much, but it's at least 10, that's all I can tell you. As you progress more, he'll, like, you know, like, more sparks on the ground will start coming at you. But that's pretty much it. This guy's really simple. And yeah, this is like I like this one. But yeah, on to the next one. Last but not least is the queen. And the queen, she sends out these parable little lion statue figurines. And how you damage her is you gotta, parry these cannons at the right angle. So they send out, cannonballs. All of these are pretty easy. You just gotta, when to do stuff, right? So, but yeah, other than that, this, gets demolished. So, onto the actual bosses now. I lied to you guys once again. We're not doing the bosses, we're doing the gauntlet. And what the gauntlet is you just need to consecutively beat all of them. And I don't know if I told you guys this yet, but to 300% the game, you usually need to do all of the achievements too, which I'm not going to do because, well, I already got them in the last one. But yeah, pretty much the gauntlet, you just got to beat all of them in a row. So, pawns slammed, knight slammed, bishop slammed, rook slammed, queen slammed, and that's the gauntlet for you.
Here's a real high-class belt. Now go!
So first up we have is this mountain giant guy. I know this is some folklore. I got no clue what it is. It's some giant that is a mountain. He's, not living on one, but he is the one. And there's no miners. But I don't know, right? So pretty much what it is he's got this bear that comes at you. He's got some flying geese. He detaches himself, right? And then he pulls up these two puppets. One's, the devil. One's the King Dice. And, they just bounce his ball back and forth. There's gnomes up, jump off the ground. But after you do this, he eats you. I don't know why, but he eats you, right? And all you really got to do then is attack his little, whatever that thing is. I don't really know what to call that. But, you attack that and you'll win. So on to the next one. Next up is this ice wizard guy. He he sends down these little like ice spike little things. He sends some weird, I assume, tarot cards after you. I think there's the moon right there. And all you really gotta do here is beat him up a little bit till he turns into this ice golem or giant snowman, abominable snowman, right? So and then after that, he becomes this weird giant ice snowflake that sends some, other snow cones or other stuff like that at you. I don't really know, but I whoop him pretty easily. So on to the next one. Next up is this group of pilots that are dogs. I mean, it's the best explanation I can get. He sends some tennis balls, some flying bones after you. They got a cat for some reason. Shoots yarn at you, holding them hostage. I don't really know. But then after this, the little mini dogs, they spit some letters at you. I think it spells out Bow Wow, but yeah. And then you fight the giant plane, right? It's giant plane. He's got lasers. They got this other dog. They send some different colored food bowls after you. One attacks high, one attacks low, and yeah, and I whoop them. Next up is this cowgirl. She fights you in the saloon first. There's this weird donkey thing, spits some cactus balls at you. She shoots these oil guns or grease guns or whatever, and yeah, pulls a cactus in. But then after that, she turns on the vacuum. She starts lighting you up with money. Once again, someone flexing on me when I asked for it. But then, after this, she turns into well, she gets sucked up by her own vacuum and turned into a sausage link. So we got that going for us. And then after that, she's packaged into ground beef. I don't know. She whoops her own ass as we fight her, so whatever. And we win. Next up is this hive of bugs. One of them is a spider, arachnid, but he sends out some mines after you, but you know, after you whoop this guy, he this lady comes in, she plays some tunes. Tunes are so bad they can damage you sometimes, so you know. Then after this, there's a big anteater. Why there's an anteater working with supposedly its prey, I don't know. But there's a snail on the top that after you whoop the anteater, you know, he gives a fake knockout warning, right? So, you know, you gotta take him out after he gives that fake knockout, which is really easy. So, yeah, on to the next one. Last up is Chef Saltbaker, and I mean, regular heat's easy, right? But, you know, let's just wait till he gets a, not regular mode. But, you know, this guy, he's pretty easy. Prepare some food. But, you know, you whoop him then, and then, you know, he goes in. You gotta attack him by turning his own salt shakers against him. Why he's a salt thing himself, but then, or no, it's spices, my bad. Yeah. And then after this, he takes you into the salt realm. I got no fucking clue, right? So then he sends his own heart after you destroy the rest of them. So, and then you whoop that too. So, let's go into extreme mode. Now, you know, first on expert mode, it's, you know, Group Grande, but, you know, all the bosses, honestly. I mean, there's not much they can really do to make them hard. I mean, they become faster, I guess, you know, they spawn more enemies, but other than that, really, it's kind of easy. But, you know, later it gets harder. I'm not really going to touch on any of the bosses, though. I'm not going to lie with you. I'm really just going to show receipts here. But, Aisle 1, whooped. You know, first up, and, you know, a lot of the bosses on Aisle 2, you know, to get whooped immediately. Like the Candy Lady, yeah, sure, you know, when, you know, you're going after her, she spawns 2 heads instead of just 1, but that's not really that big of an issue, right? And then, you know, the Clown, what does he do? He's faster, I guess. The baseballs fly faster, but than that, he gets whooped, right? So, I mean, what else is there? There's the plain boss. There's the Genie. The Genie, it doesn't become much harder, honestly. He's pretty easy. And, you know, Grim Matchstick, the dragon, whooped. And, you know, Wally Warbler is honestly probably the hardest boss up until, like, I don't know, the, you know, what's his, the Ghost Troll. So, you know, they get whooped. Now, you know, let's look at this map of Aisle 3, right? Let's just get the ones out of the way that get whooped immediately. The actress, Gonzo, right? She barely, like, I feel like I'm just fighting simple at that point, or am I right? You know, then who is there? There's the rat, the mouse, whatever he is, whooped. He had nothing. It's an easy boss anyway. Now the pirate, I feel a little, you know, difficulty increase, but it's just because he attacks faster. It's not really any hard attacks anyway. And Cala Maria, oh my God, she doesn't even matter at this point. It's easy, right? So, and especially the bee lady. The bee lady, no difficulty at all. It's not really. There's nothing here other than 2 specific bosses.
Here's a real high-class belt. You're up.
I only got 2 things to say about this guy. One, whenever, you know, he's in that chase phase where it's just his head flying across the screen, those, like, little bombs with the skulls on them suck. It's just the fact that how fast they spawn in, and, you know, damn. Right, next is his last phase, his diamond phase, and it's just there's more of them and they fly faster, you know what I mean? So that's the issues I got with that one. So let's go on to the next one.
A brawl is surely brewing. Here goes.
Honestly, I'm gonna be so for real right now. I don't really feel a difficulty increase with, you know, the whole boss in of itself. Like, the only things I gotta say is, like, this boss just sucks normally. The difficulty, I feel like, not really stays the same. There's a little bit there, but, like, you know, he just sucks. So that's why you know, he's close to Dr. Cal and his robot. So now let's get on to the final bosses. I have literally nothing to say for King Dice. there's nothing to him. I mean, some of his mini bosses are literally harder than the King Dice actual boss, like the roulette lady. Like, I mean, yeah, that's harder, but like, dude, I have actually nothing to say here. So let's go on to the devil, eh?
A great slam and then some. Now we're going.
Honestly, the only issue I have with this boss is his like second to last stage, the one where there's floating bears and that, you know, those bats that come out of his forehead that I was talking about. Those suck because there's more of them, they attack faster, and they're just overall horrible. But other than that, this guy gets whooped. Next up we got is running guns. Running guns are really simple. You just gotta make it through without you know, getting hit. So there's not much to talk about here. I'm just gonna let you guys know that, you know, it happened. I'm not gonna let you guys know how I did it, but it happened. So
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
alright, so next up is the Miss Chalice filter. And how you get the Miss Chalice filter is all you gotta do is like beat all the bosses with Miss Chalice. Just, you know, it's just the fact that you gotta beat them. That's it. You know, it doesn't matter what difficulty, but it just needs to be done to get the filter. So let's get the tape rolling. Alright, so, you know, next up we got is beating all the DLC bosses on Expert, which is a lot. It's just Expert bosses again, they're not really that difficult. This guy, I mean, like, the biggest part I hate about this guy is just, like, his, like, when you're in his stomach, it just has more HP, so you're just down there for longer. But, other than that, this guy gets whooped, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Now for the Snow Wizard guy, I don't really have a lot to say for him. All I can, you know, really tell by actually playing the boss is that he just attacks a whole heck of a lot faster, right? So, other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. He gets whooped, so on to the next one. Now for this boss, honestly, the only like big difference I could actually tell, other than the fact that they attack faster, is that when, you know, the dog is like the actual big dog plane is like turning the screen and the lasers are shooting at you, there's more lasers. But literally, other than that, other than the fact that he attacks faster, that's it. You know, there's nothing else. So they get whooped, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Next up for this cowgirl lady, I mean, I'm gonna be fully honest, I don't really feel a difference other than when the TNT falls down, there's more TNT that sparks back up. That is honestly it, and I guess there's less parryable items that, you know, but other than that, whooped, right? So, on to the next one. Now, with this, like, you know, the bug family or whatever, with, you know, I mean, there's some differences, like, you know, enemies appear faster, like the, you know, little group of bugs that fly in from the background, and, you know, the mines that drop from the ceiling, and, you know, of course, what's that freaking, I don't know what that thing is, but, you know, but they just appear overall faster, right? And when the anteater shoots out those balls of people fighting, I don't know what to call those, but you know, they move faster, stuff like that. So, you know, but this guy gets absolutely whoa, whoa, oh my god, whoa, do you guys hear that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck?
This match will get red hot. It's on!
I fucking hate this guy with all of my heart. There is so much anguish in my soul for this boss right here. Chef Saltbaker will always be why I can't sleep at night sometimes. He haunts my fucking nightmares. And it's all because when you turn up this guy's speed on expert mode, he launches 4 different fucking attacks at you. There's the 2 flames at the top. And then there's probably 2 or maybe 3 of food he prepares for you. There's the sugar cubes, the fucking limes, those goddamn strawberries, and those damn animal crackers. And let's not forget the second stage. The second stage, it gets so much worse. Not only do you have 4 different peppers, like, you know, containers, shooting shit at you, he's dabbling some fucking leaves on you, and there's 2 fucking fireballs jumping around the goddamn screen! Now, by the 3rd stage, things have seemed to calm down. Sure, there's, you know, 2 saws on the ground, but, you know, that's pretty much it. The last stage is by far the easiest stage of this guy, right? So I'm proud to say that I have made this man my bitch, not once, but twice. Thank you. Now, something I usually do earlier, but I kind of spaced it, you know, throughout, you know, the whole game, was the Curse Relic. Curse Relic, I'm just going to let you guys know I did it. You know, I'm not going to edit this footage because this is already a really long video, but, you know, here's the really sped up footage of me just, you know, completing the Curse Relic stuff. And as you guys can see, there it is, Divine Relic. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I congratulate whoever has watched all the way through. This is a really long video, about 40 something minute video that is a lot longer than the 2 other videos I have. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.
Perfect.